Israel has officially reached its limit. The countdown has begun. How long can it hold? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Global Perspective. Israel has officially reached its limit. The countdown clock has started ticking, and every second now passes under suffocating pressure. Precision strikes with devastating force are piercing through layers of defense once considered a source of pride. Interceptor missiles are being depleted rapidly, while the opposing side needs fewer, but far more effective, attacks. The battlefield is shifting clearly. This is no longer a contest of numbers, but a test of endurance and survival time. Behind the scenes, signals of withdrawal and attempts to find an exit are beginning to emerge. But the door is no longer easy to open. A prolonged scenario means economic and security pressure reaching critical levels. And the biggest question now is painfully clear. How long can Israel hold, now that the countdown has begun? Israel's defense is fading. Interceptions are no longer enough. Israel's air defense and missile defense systems are showing clear signs of strain. More incoming targets are slipping through. Interception success rates are declining, and the impact is immediately visible on the ground. Even a small number of successful strikes can cause massive damage. The issue is no longer whether attacks can be intercepted, but how long that can continue. Continuous waves of attacks force the defense system into constant reaction. Every interception means depletion. Every depletion brings the system closer to its limit. When the tempo doesn't slow, stockpiles become the deciding factor. This is a war of time. And time is not on Israel's side. A chain reaction is unfolding. When one layer is overwhelmed, others must absorb the pressure. And as pressure rises, the risk of missed targets increases. Even a small breach can shatter the illusion of safety. What was once a multi-layered shield is now being tested simultaneously at every level. A new strategy. Fewer missiles, greater damage. The rules of the game have changed. The opponent no longer relies on massive barrages. Instead, they deploy fewer, but far more powerful and precise strikes. Each missile carries heavy warheads capable of causing catastrophic damage with a single hit. This puts Israel at a disadvantage. Its interception systems were designed for high-volume threats, where probability and density mattered. But now, quality has replaced quantity. Each interception becomes a gamble. An expensive interceptor is launched against a target with a higher chance of breaking through. Costs escalate rapidly. One side fires fewer, high-precision missiles. The other must respond with costly systems that deplete quickly. Over time, this creates a vicious cycle of attrition. Even more dangerous is the psychological effect. When every strike can penetrate defenses, the sense of safety begins to collapse. Untouched reserves. The real threat still remains. The most alarming reality is this. A significant portion of offensive capability remains untouched. Large missile reserves and underground facilities in eastern Iran remain intact, unweakened, unused. What we are seeing now is not the peak. These facilities are deeply buried, dispersed, and difficult to strike. This creates a strategic advantage. As long as reserves remain intact, the tempo of attacks can be sustained, or increased at will. This asymmetry defines the battlefield. One side is forced to exhaust itself daily, while the other still holds back its full strength. Washington changes tone. Victory as an exit strategy. Across major media channels, a familiar phrase is emerging. Declare victory, and withdraw. Figures like Tom Cotton and Josh Hawley have publicly suggested it may be time to end the conflict, not escalate it. When victory is declared before the outcome is decided, it often signals a strategic shift, redefining results to justify an exit. Donald Trump wants out. Signals from behind the scenes are becoming clearer. Donald Trump no longer speaks in hardline rhetoric, but in pragmatic terms about the limits of military power. The conclusion is blunt. No matter how long airstrikes continue, they will not fundamentally change the regional balance. This is the turning point. A costly campaign without decisive results inevitably forces reconsideration. Escalation brings no advantage, only greater risk. Global energy shock. The economic battlefield expands. The most dangerous front is not on the battlefield, but in the global economy. Energy supply disruptions are driving prices upward across Europe and Asia. Costs surge. Transport becomes expensive. Production slows. Inflation spreads. This shock doesn't stop at oil. It destabilizes the entire financial system. Businesses face rising costs. Consumers lose purchasing power. Markets become volatile. The risk of global recession is no longer distant. It is forming in real time. Iran says no ceasefire. War enters attrition phase. Tehran has made its position clear. No ceasefire. Military forces will maintain current operational tempo. This decision reshapes the conflict entirely. When one side wants to stop, and the other continues, the war enters a phase of attrition. In this phase, victory is not about speed, but endurance. The countdown has begun. Everything now comes down to a single variable: time. Interceptor stockpiles are shrinking rapidly. Attack tempo remains unchanged. Each decision to fire is not just tactical. It is a subtraction from survival. Two curves are converging: depletion and pressure. Their intersection marks the breaking point. And when the clock starts ticking, it does not stop for anyone.